Have you ever felt like you had everything you needed, but somehow nothing worked out? Like you were given opportunities, time, abilities, maybe even chances that others only dream about, and yet you still feel stuck. Why? Why do some people take what they have and build something powerful, while others slowly lose it all? Here's the uncomfortable question most people avoid. What if the problem isn't what you were given, but what you did with it? Think about your life for a moment. The ideas you never acted on, the chances you ignored, the things you knew you should do, but didn't. At first, it doesn't seem serious. You delay, you hesitate, you tell yourself, later. But then something strange happens. Opportunities stop coming, confidence starts fading, and what you once had begins to slip through your fingers. Most people don't even notice the moment they start losing everything. And here's the deeper truth. It's not taken away suddenly, it disappears quietly. So why does this happen? Why would God give something valuable only for it to be lost? And more importantly, is it already happening to you? Think about it, because what you're about to hear might change the way you see your life forever. Parable, main story. For it will be like a man going on a journey. Before he left, he called his servants and entrusted his possessions to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, each according to his ability. Then he went away. The one who had received 5 talents went at once and put them to work. He traded, he took risks, he acted, and gained 5 more. The one with 2 talents did the same. He worked with what he had, and in time, he gained 2 more. But the one who had received 1 talent did something different. He went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. Time passed. After a long time, the master returned and called his servants to settle accounts. The one who had received 5 talents came forward. "Master," he said, "you entrusted me with 5 talents. See, I have gained 5 more." His master replied, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master." Then came the one with 2 talents. "Master," he said, "you entrusted me with 2 talents. See, I have gained 2 more." His master answered, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master." Then the one who had received 1 talent stepped forward. "Master," he said, "I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow and gathering where you scattered no seed. So I was afraid. I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here, you have what is yours." But his master answered him, "You wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I scattered no seed. Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming I should have received what was mine with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to the one who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the worthless servant into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Whoever is faithful with what God entrusts will be given more, but whoever neglects it will lose even what they have." Fact 1. In the parable, Jesus shows that the master gives different amounts to each servant, according to their ability. This means God intentionally distributes responsibility, gifts, and opportunities differently. Jesus is teaching that this is not random or unfair. It is purposeful and wise. In life, people constantly compare themselves to others. Some feel they have too little, others feel overwhelmed. But the mistake is focusing on what others have, instead of what was personally entrusted. This creates frustration, envy, or passivity, and keeps people from using what is already in their hands. Fact 2. Jesus highlights that the servants who received 5 and 2 talents went at once and put them to work. There was no delay, no hesitation. This shows urgency and responsibility. Jesus teaches that faithfulness is not passive, it requires action. Today, many people wait for the perfect moment. They overthink, doubt, or postpone decisions. But time passes anyway. Opportunities are not static, they fade. The longer a person waits, the harder it becomes to act. What could have grown begins to shrink simply because nothing was done. Fact 3. In the parable, the third servant hides the talent in the ground. Jesus shows that his decision was not about inability, it was about fear. The servant even admits it. I was afraid. Jesus is revealing that fear can stop a person from fulfilling what was entrusted to them. In real life, fear rarely looks obvious. It disguises itself as caution, perfectionism, or being realistic. People avoid risks, avoid responsibility, and justify inaction. But inside, it's often fear of failure, judgment, or loss. And because of that fear, they bury their potential, just like the servant did. Fact 4. In the parable, Jesus shows that the master returns after a long time and asks for an account. This reveals a key truth. What is given is not permanent ownership, but stewardship. Jesus teaches that there will be a moment of accountability. In life, many people live as if there will never be a moment of return. They treat time, abilities, and opportunities as something they can waste without consequence. But over time, reality catches up. Missed chances, regret, and the realization that nothing was done with what was given. Fact 5. Jesus emphasizes the response of the master to the first 2 servants. Well done, good and faithful servant. Notice, he does not call them successful, but faithful. Jesus is teaching that the measure is not how much you start with, but what you do with it. Today, people are obsessed with results, status, and comparison. They think value comes from being better than others. But this creates pressure and insecurity. The deeper truth is that consistency, responsibility, and faithfulness in small things are what actually shape a person's life over time. Fact 6. In the parable, the third servant describes the master as a hard man. Jesus reveals something important. The servant's view of the master was distorted, and this affected his actions. His belief shaped his behavior. In real life, how a person sees God deeply affects how they live. If they see him as harsh, distant, or unfair, they withdraw, avoid responsibility, and live in fear. This often leads to passivity. People disconnect spiritually and emotionally because they believe they will never measure up anyway. Fact 7. Jesus shows that the servant didn't lose the talent through action. He lost it through inaction. He didn't misuse it. He simply did nothing. And that was enough to be called wicked and lazy. This is uncomfortable but real. Most people don't fail because they make huge mistakes. They fail because they do nothing. They stay in comfort, avoid growth, and slowly drift. No dramatic collapse, just quiet stagnation. And over time, that inactivity costs them everything they once had. Fact 8. In the parable, Jesus shows that the master takes the talent from the unfaithful servant and gives it to the one who already has 10. This reveals a spiritual principle. What is used grows, and what is neglected is lost. Jesus is not describing injustice. He is revealing how responsibility works in God's kingdom. In life, this is exactly what happens. Skills improve when they are practiced. Confidence grows when action is taken. But when something is ignored, it weakens. People often think they are staying the same, but in reality, they are either growing or losing ground. There is no neutral state. Fact 9. Jesus says, "To everyone who has, more will be given, but from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away." He is teaching that faithfulness creates capacity. The more a person proves trustworthy, the more they can handle. Today, people want more success, more opportunities, more influence, but they ignore what they already have. They overlook small responsibilities, thinking they are insignificant. But this is where everything begins. If a person cannot handle little, they are not ready for more, even if they desire it. Fact 10. In the parable, the servant returns the exact same talent he was given, expecting that this is enough. Jesus shows that simply not losing what was given is not faithfulness. The expectation was growth. In real life, many people believe that avoiding mistakes is enough. They play it safe, avoid risks, and stay in their comfort zone. But over time, this leads to stagnation. Life is not designed for preservation only. It requires movement, development, and courage to step forward. Fact 11. Jesus ends the parable with a strong image. The servant is cast into outer darkness. This shows the seriousness of wasted responsibility. Jesus is not exaggerating, he is warning. What we do with what we've been given has real consequences. In life, consequences are often quiet but heavy. Lost potential, regret, missed purpose. These are not always visible to others, but deeply felt v'nu. Most people don't suddenly lose everything. They slowly realize they never became who they could have been. And that realization can be one of the hardest things to face. So here's the truth Jesus leaves us with. It's not about how much you were given, it's about what you chose to do with it. Some people are still waiting for better conditions, more clarity, more confidence. But life doesn't wait. What you have right now is already enough to begin. Think about it. The difference between growth and loss is often invisible at first. A small decision, a delayed action, a moment of fear, and over time, it becomes your life. Jesus doesn't tell this story to condemn. He tells it to wake you up, because the greatest tragedy isn't failure. It's unused potential. It's a life where nothing was multiplied, nothing was built, nothing was done. And here is the missile you shouldn't forget. What you don't use, you will lose. So the question is simple. What are you doing with what you've been given?